Welcome to the running journey. Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome
to the running journey. Running journey, yeah. Welcome to The Running Journey, a transformative podcast telling the story of two brothers faced with a very tough time in their lives that decided to do something about it, get healthy, get fit, and start jogging. The Running Journey will take you through half marathons, Ironmans, ultra marathons, and their attempt at qualifying for the Boston Marathon.
Don't forget 5Ks. Sorry.
We're certainly not going to forget 5Ks, Charlie. This is The Running Journey. Listen to us while you run.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I think we have our intro. All right, welcome everyone. Another episode of The Running Journey. Great to have you here. I'm Rob Tatro. This is my brother, Charlie Tatro. Thanks for joining us. Today we are talking about the Ironman, which is a phenomenal test of mental toughness and physical endurance and cardio and blah, blah, blah. The greatest test, or one of the greatest tests. Charlie, you're signed up for one, right?
Yeah, April 22nd. I think it's Woodlands, Texas. I think you're signed up to the same one, right?
Well, I'm signed up to the same one. Me, you, my buddy Trav is coming. His buddy Dwayne is coming. So there'll be a 4-banger contingency of Manitobans going to that race. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about the race. I did one already, so I loved it so much. Like I enjoyed that race so much. It's so rewarding to do that race that I'm pumped that you're doing it. I'm pumped that you're doing it. So you've obviously never done an Ironman, but you did do what do they call it? An Olympic distance triathlon last year when I lent you my bike when I was gone on holidays.
Yeah.
How did that race go?
That was so hard. It was surprisingly really hard, even though it's only an Olympic. I guess you don't realize how tiring the swim and the bike are. I thought the run would be the easiest part. Was actually the hardest part because I was so tired by the time I started, and that's only took me 2:48 or something.
But that's a good
I
time.
Imagine.
Like you shouldn't be like, you act like you're all embarrassed at that time. That's not a bad time for a first Olympic distance triathlon.
Yeah, I mean, I started training in July, like maybe June 15th. So I trained for 2 months. But I mean,
and you didn't own a bike.
But no, it's no. I was expecting better, to be honest. But now I'm actually really happy. So it's all good.
And more importantly,
but really we're talking. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it got you training for like the experience, the transitioning, the swim, the open water, the scariness of the mass start and the transition to the bike, and then how your glutes feel when you get on off the bike and running.
But like just the hurdle of knowing that you can swim 1,500 meters, even though it's only 1,500 and an Ironman is 3,800, or I think it's slightly more than that. That is really like when I started training for that Olympic, I didn't know if I'd make the swim. And then once I made it, then I know I can do way more too. Like it's fine. So that's good.
You did that race in what, September or something like that, or August?
August of last year. Yeah.
Okay. And when did you sign up for the Ironman?
I think it was like a week after we finished the marathon in
Boston, in LA.
In LA. Yeah, I think that was like a week after I signed up for it.
Were you having a bit of like the letdown and the kind of like, oh, I need another goal type thing?
Yeah, I mean, regardless, like I knew I was going to have another goal. I just had to decide what it was. And started thinking back. Yeah, well, I think because you wanted me to go so badly, that's why I decided to do it. Just kidding.
No, but I'm pumped. I'm glad that I pushed you, and I feel like I could have pushed you harder. And I feel if you'd have kept saying no, I would have just kept pushing you, because I do think like it's unbelievable experience. It's very, very tough to compare this to anything that I've ever done, and it's something that I think is tremendously valuable. Like accomplishing.
What made you decide to take, like, so you had decided to go to do this one way before I did. So what made you, like, you decided before that last marathon, like what made you decide that that was the one you're going to do and do another one?
So basically for me, I kind of knew I was going to do another Ironman. I just enjoyed it so much, and I knew I wanted to trim like 2 hours off the time to maybe more, because I knew I wasn't super happy with my time. But again, I didn't really care about my time. My first one, it took me 14 hours and 47 minutes or something, and I didn't really care about the time. So I knew that I needed to beat that time, and I knew I needed to do another one. So kind of in, I want to say like July, August, sometime this summer, I said, okay, I'm going to do another one. And I looked at the calendar, and I wanted one that was not in the summer. And I wanted one that was, because I had such a terrible experience with the heat in Des Moines. Like I didn't want to do that again. Like that was just not fun. 32 degrees, 90% humidity, people falling all over the place. I just didn't want to do that. So I said, okay, I looked at the temperatures for all the cities, and there aren't that many Ironmans, right? There's maybe, what is there, like 15 or something, or like there aren't that many.
Yeah.
So I looked at April, I looked at the temperature. The running course was flat. I think the biking course was flat. The swim was warm. So I knew that
the swim's flat.
The swim is flat. Yeah. The swim, we're not going to have to go uphill with the swim. So that's good. So I called my buddy Trav, and we did the Des Moines together. I said, would you ever do another Ironman? I said, absolutely. I'm going to do another one probably in 2 years. I said, you want to do one next year? Sure. So I said, I think I'm doing Houston. He said, I'm in. So that's kind of how we picked it, and that's how we did it. And I did my research before, because I was worried about the wetsuit. I was worried that if the temperature gets too hot, you don't get a wetsuit. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. So we will be able to wear a wetsuit. And I just, Houston, I've never been. So I don't know. I thought it'd be a good city. It matched up. He said he could go. So when he said he was in, like, we booked our flights. Like, we booked our flights the next day, and then there's no turning back. We're in. We booked it. We're in. And then I just had to convince you. I just had to get going on. And then for the trade-off that you get for training for this and this monster goal, it's like there's a lot of like the benefits that you get from it. So like this sense of accomplishment and all this. Well, there's a heck of a lot of input that goes into that too. And input is like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And so I kind of forgot that briefly when I signed up for it, because then I had a moment where I was like, okay, I'm signed up for this Ironman. And then I was like, oh yeah, 6-hour bike rides on Saturday, and followed by hour jogs and the swims. And I was kind of like, oh, do I really want to do this? And then I was like, yes, I do. I really want to do this. So it was both exciting and then a little bit like, what am I doing? And now I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm not at the point where it seems like a lot of training yet. That I'm sure that'll come in the next few months. Right now, it feels like it's kind of the same amount, even maybe slightly less than I was doing right leading up to the marathon. So I'm not super, but I know that it's gonna be way, 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 way more in the next few months. So, so at this point, I'm just looking forward to almost every workout. So that's good.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I was at the end of my training session for the marathon. I was like, I felt really good, and it was like every workout I just wanted to, I was so eager. Your training is going well when you start being eager for every workout. So that's kind of how I feel right now, except for the runs. I mean, how about you? How are you feeling about your workouts and stuff?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. And it's, I like that you point out the fact that you were like, I don't think you ever want to get to the point in training where you're like, I don't want to do this run today, right? Like I'm dreading the run, or I'm dreading the swim, or I'm dreading the bike, because then that's obviously not good long term, right? It doesn't bode well long term. So I'm glad you pointed that out. I did feel that way towards the end with my swims. When I had to do 3.8 kilometers on a Tuesday morning in the pool at Bonne Vital, I was kind of dreading those, but I knew I only had like 6 left or 5 left.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's
even any marathon, like even at the end, the long runs, they get hard, but you have that extra incentive that, it's like 2 more left, right? Where there's like 3 hard workouts left. So it's like
you're
that
getting
for swimming
closer
too, I guess. Yeah, exactly.
You're getting closer. So it's like you could see the end, and the end in this case is not that training session. It's the end of your path, your journey, right? Towards this one race.
Well, I remember we were texting each other like about a month before the marathon, and we're like, training is pretty much done. There's like 3 more hard workouts. Like, because at 4 weeks, we kind of started tapering, and that feeling is pretty good when you get there.
Yeah. And with the Ironman, like I find the one time that I did it, it was even bigger, like the tapering and the feeling of accomplishment after having done all those, because the weekends are really long. Like the weekends are going to be 6 hours on Saturday and like 3 on Sunday or 4 on Sundays. You're doing like 10 hours on a weekend. So it's like, it's a lot of work. So it is like the mountain that you're climbing to get there is so high, which is why like the journey is so unbelievable. And it's one of the reasons I love the name of this podcast, like the running journey, because journey is applicable to so many more things than just our journey, right? Like there's a journey for every race we do. There's a journey for every single training session you do. There's a journey for every week, right? There's a journey for every half marathon you decide to do or goal, and I find that it's a great, I like, that was your name. And I like that you picked it because I think it's so real.
I think, like, I was thinking about kind of those things today a little bit today as well. And I was thinking about why the last marathon was so successful for me personally, why I felt so successful. And it was just, I know we qualified for Boston, whatever, it's not an Ironman, but it's like, to me, it was like a lifetime dream. And the journey is kind of encapsulates it, because I think one of the reasons it was so successful was because I didn't worry about the results. I just focused on the next week of workouts or the next workout. And it was just about being in the moment during the whole, like at some point I was like, there's no chance. There's 0 chance I'm going to hit this goal. But I just kept showing up for every workout. And it was just like, don't think, just stay in the moment and think about the next workout, the journey, right? Like, so that's,
man, I love that story. And it's actually sends chills down my spine, because what we did is really, like, it's remarkable, Charlie, what you did and what I did, whatever. It's remarkable. It's very, very remarkable, because like we went from 0 to qualifying for Boston in whatever, a year and a half or whatever. And you say, oh, we didn't do an Ironman, we just qualified for Boston. Like, time out. Like, whoa, time out. Like point, what is it? 1% of the population has completed a marathon, and 1/60th of people who've ever completed a marathon have qualified for Boston. So it's like 0.0001% of the population qualifies for Boston every year. Like, nobody does this, right? So like, it's impressive what you did and what I did, but like to kind of blow it off a little bit, I think it's remarkable that what you did and the way you did it was, as you said, one session at a time. Like, just be in the moment for that 1 mile or that one, like whatever you were doing that one day, that 1 mile, that one trek. And I think it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, because at some point I thought I had 0 chance, and you at some point too were a little bit down, and we didn't think we were going to get there, right? But we just kept doing the work, and it just all of a sudden paid off, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely went through a stretch where you were like really injured. You weren't running, and it didn't look like you'd be able to qualify. I just had a stretch where I was just down because I wasn't meeting, I couldn't, I was sick, and I wasn't as fast as I needed to be. But I think you had a tougher stretch than I did with your injury.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everyone has tough stretches, but yeah, I'm really proud of how I handled it. So
we both just did the same thing. We both just put our head down. And I remember like leading into the last few weeks, like I was like in the back of my head, I was like, I'm doing this. Like, this is happening. Like I'm qualifying for Boston. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. I felt so good. I was like, oh my God, how unbelievable. And then, you decide to sign up for an Ironman. And a lot of people that don't know and don't appreciate and don't understand what I'm going through and what you're going through on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis, setting goals, feeling good about reaching those goals, having discipline, having control over your life, having the mental clarity while you're jogging, and having kind of better outlook on life because of all these things. A lot of people cannot possibly understand why anyone would want to put themselves through this, right? They have a hard time grasping, why would you want to put yourself through 200 miles on a bike in a week, or 60 miles jogging in a week? Like, why would anyone want to put themselves through that? It's painful. It's not fun. It hurts it's not cheap either. Like, why would anyone want to do that? And I just go back to this concept, that thought that you just said, which is this journey where you're in the moment, you're enjoying it, you're appreciating it. And then the pure euphoria of like, when we cross that finish line, it's pretty neat.
Yep.
So now we're going to do it with the Ironman. I do think now maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it regardless. I do think pretty much anyone could finish an Ironman. I do think, I shouldn't say the swimming, right? If you take away the swimming, some people just can't swim and they could never swim 3.8 kilometers.
But I mean, okay, so to counter that point, I think if they get proper coaching, it might be psychological coaching, I don't know, like there could be a fear factor that prevents people from being able to do that. But I think physically, I think I saw this on a video yesterday or something. Anyone can finish an Ironman. You just have to train for it. I mean, but training is the hard part.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing now. We got.
I mean, I've never done one, so I shouldn't be able to say that. But sorry, yeah.
I remember when you told me like, bah, you're gonna finish this. You're gonna do great. Don't worry about it. It's just an Ironman. You'll do great. And I was like, yeah, I will do good. Yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I could do this. And it's kind of like what helped me. The mental approach going in that day is what kind of saved me, because. Like, okay, I had a real hard time in the swim, obviously, real hard time, and it wasn't fun. But like, I knew I was going to finish. Like, I knew I was going to finish. Nothing was going to stop me. Like, I just knew I was going to finish. So, like, that's the training, and that's the positive attitude.
But it's still not everyone. Okay, so 17 hours you have to do it in. It's one thing that makes it harder. So when I did my Olympic triathlon, I met this amazing gentleman who had tried 4 times. He was 75 years old, and he had tried 4 times to complete. He had entered 4 Ironmans and never completed one, but he had tried 4 times, which is amazing. And he was in his 70s. So he was still dreaming he still wanted to do one eventually. So it's not that easy.
He's on the backside, eh? That's tougher when you start getting on the backside of 50 or whatever. You're going to be there soon.
Yeah, soon, yeah.
Where you're not going to be able to make personal bests. That's going to be kind of shitty, eh?
Yeah, I think about that sometimes, but then I just say stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment, yeah. So we're staying at the Marriott just outside of Woodlands, and the crazy part is I'm doing an Ironman, an ultra, in a month, and I'm actually staying in Woodlands.
Same hotel.
No, I get an Airbnb because they're available this time, but like they weren't available
Okay.
for the weekend we're going because there's an LPGA tournament or something, so there's like no availability whatsoever. But I'm actually going to be driving through Woodlands, and I'm actually going to go check out the course. So we'll
Maybe do a quick 112-mile bike ride.
yeah, just a quick bike, and maybe just a 3.8 swim, and yeah, I'll do them on separate days though.
Yeah, well, do it after so you don't
So I don't tire myself.
So you don't. Yeah.
You went and you bought a bike?
Yeah, I bought a bike now, so it's a pretty awesome bike. Well, I don't know. All I've done is ride it on the Zwift machine or whatever you call it.
You're probably not going to get an outdoor bike ride. It's crazy. You're not going to get an outdoor bike ride till you're Ironman.
So here's what I was thinking we should do. We should go for a week or a weekend in March somewhere
Warm and ride the bike.
Ride the bike for real. At least get a few long bike rides somewhere in the south.
Are you thinking road tripping or are you thinking flying?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how you fly with a bike. I guess you can load them in a box, right, or something. But either way,
are you thinking like spring break?
Yeah, it was just an idea I had the other day, but yeah.
Because I think if we go spring break, so you don't have to go that far to get out of the snow.
Yeah, like we could probably go to like, I don't know,
Minneapolis
Kansas
or something. Yeah, you probably reach it if like 10, 11 hours, you're probably there, or 8 to 10 hours, you're probably there. So
yeah, we could just drive there. Yeah,
drive there, hammer out a long Saturday, a long Sunday, and then drive back, kind of thing.
Yeah, if we don't get any actual practice.
Well, you're not going to get any. I wasn't on, and plus you're tapering, right? 2 weeks.
But wait, last year though was an anomalous year. So usually it gets warmer in March, right?
You used anomalous, I like that use. That's a great use of a word.
Yeah, it was a non-normal year, I guess.
Yeah.
Last year.
Okay, but I mean, I don't think I was on my bike till like May last year, mid-May.
Yeah, something. But yeah, last year was crazy. Yeah, so
okay, but I mean,
but we could plan if we plan a trip in March, that would be awesome. Then
yeah, you know what? I'd be down for that. I was trying to talk to Michelle to tell her that we need to do something spring break, and she knows already. She's like, "Oh, let me guess, you picked a marathon you want to do, like in San Diego or something?" Or I said, "No. I just
we're just gonna go to Kansas so we can bike 100 miles a day.
We're just gonna go to Kansas and bike." Yeah, and then I probably bring the kids, and we can find a place with a pool, and they can swim, and like maybe like one of those Great Wolf Lodges.
If we go together,
yeah,
then the kids can play together. It's so much easier to take care of them.
Yeah, and Michelle and Cheryl can hang out or whatever. Yeah, that's a good plan. Okay, so I like that because I do think we do need to get some miles. Well, I mean, I'm not worried about it, but
well, I've never ridden my bike. Like it tells me I'm going 20 miles an hour. Am I really? Like, what's the?
So here's the thing.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really.
It's kind of serious. Remember my stories from last year when I first got on the bike? Like I was falling. Like the first time I got on the bike, I fell over because I was
but I have some experience because I used your bike.
Oh yeah. Right.
So I have a bit of experience. I mean, I wouldn't be completely like rattled if I'd never biked before, but it would be it could have some serious psychological effects. Let's say I'm expecting that I can do, I don't know, like I don't want to have false expectations.
Right? Yeah, so I'd just throw those out the window. I think your expectations for your first Ironman, like the goal should be. The goal should be
for pacing and stuff,
Yeah, but I think
you're going to
use RPE, right? You're going to use your RPE, your rate of perceived exertion, and you're going to try to just, when you jog and you're just jogging at a pace you think you could jog forever, like that's I think the pace you should go on your biking when you're doing your first time. So you're probably going to end up going like 26, 27 kilometers, maybe even slower. Or 28, whatever, something like that you could probably just go forever and not have to stress. Or you're just like, I mean, if your goal is just to finish, that's what I would do if I were you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I did. But yeah, okay.
We'll
So
see. We'll see what Patrick says.
We'll see what coach says. Yeah, that's a good idea to go riding our bike and like just to go out and just hammer the trails somewhere, hammer the road somewhere. That's a good idea. Find a place. And then like, are you okay? So you got your wetsuit, you're all set up for swimming, or do you need to
I don't have my wetsuit yet. So I was looking for thickest possible leg, because apparently I'm a beginner swimmer according to my coach. So I need to have the thickest possible neoprene around the thighs and stuff.
I think it's 5 mil max though, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what I need. I need the 5 mils around the thighs.
So I mean, I just bought mine on Patrick suggested like a Canadian locally owned triathlon company. I think it's called Tri Canada or Triathlon Canada or something like that. And I ordered one through there, and they say you would think the triathlon would be a cheap sport, right? You're just running, swimming, and you're biking, but it's actually not. Every time you want to do anything, it's like a wetsuit is like $400 or $500. Like it's like bikes are $4 or $5 grand. Like your trainer's $1,000, your coach. Anyways, it's worth it, is what I'm getting at. But you're gonna pay $500 for your wetsuit, or 400 or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
okay. Aside from that, do you think that the oh, je te peux te demander, y a quelque chose d'autre I need to faut que je couvre ici là?
What do I have to cover? What do I have to ask you?
Attends, moi ouais, okay.
What yeah, so do you have any pointers for me? It's my first Ironman.
Well, I mean, I've told you a lot about you're probably sick and tired of hearing my Ironman stories, but like I would respect the race is one thing I would do.
Yeah, I know. I keep reminding myself of that, but yes.
Like just respect the race and don't think that you're going to do an 11 hour or 12 or whatever. Just like your first goal should be finish and then stretch the rest out as you get closer to. Like I didn't actually set a real goal for myself till I was on mile like 14 or something, where like, I think I might be able to break 15 if I hustle. Or I think I was on mile 17 or whatever. And I just started pumping to try to break 15 hours. Because at that point it was still just finish, right? But okay, so respect the race is one. I think make absolutely sure you, depending on the temperature, makes absolutely sure you eat and drink way, way, way more than you think you do, than you need to. And, you know, make a plan and then drink more than that. Because like for me, there were so many people that were failing because of dehydration, although it was 32 degrees. And then for your nutrition, try it out ahead of time. So try on your long bike rides, try to eat, if you're going to eat Cliff Bars or whatever, try to eat one Cliff Bar every half hour for 6 hours to see if your body's able to do that. Because I mean, I ate 17 Cliff Bars during my Ironman, and I had, I think,
I guess I should get my Cliff Bars. I should get Cliff Bars for the frozen.
I like it. I mean, they're tasty. It's kind of like a treat, and yet it's what they all suggest you run with, and it's harder to
how many grams of carbs in one?
What is it, 50? No, what is it?
That sounds like a lot. I'm gonna guess 25.
No, 40. I think it's 42 or 40 or something like that. But I mean, 65 in a Cliff Bar.
Wow.
Is that what you're seeing? Oh, that's per 100 grams. And are they 100 grams? I don't know what they are. But anyways, 44 grams of carbs. I think it's for me, it was like the treat, and it kept you going, and it gave you something to look forward to. Okay.
But how often did you eat? How often were you having it? Every 45 minutes?
I think I was doing I ate 17. I think I was doing every half hour maybe, 17. Or maybe it was every 40 minutes.
And then once like you're out of the swim, like obviously you're not eating while you're swimming, right?
Yeah.
So you do a gel before, obviously, or something, right?
Yeah, that's what I did.
And then you kind of got to catch up a little bit after the swim, right? I would imagine. Like thirsty, you'd probably be thirsty
you're thirsty as heck and you're hungry, even though you ate, because like swimming is takes a lot out of you, right? So
Yeah. Oh, every time I go to the pool, I come back, I feel so hungry. It's so weird because like I know I'm not expending that much, but I'm so hungry. Anyways.
It does that. Swimming does that. And that day, I definitely felt like I needed to eat. Like, I feel like I would have ate a whole chicken if it would have been in front of me, a cooked chicken. Like I would have just ate the whole thing. But so I started with Cliff Bars, and I think you don't want to like hammer them down right away because you don't want to get cramps.
Too much. Yeah. Your stomach. And
But I'm blessed or lucky that I have a stomach that can handle this kind of stuff. So like in my training runs, I would try to load them up. So I'd go a little bit more just to see if my stomach, so I'd go like one every 10 or 15 minutes just to see if my stomach could handle it, and my stomach could handle it. And then I wouldn't take any for an hour. And I tried different stuff when I was training, when I was doing my long training run, just to see how my stomach would react. So I felt extremely confident going into the Ironman that my stomach was going to be able to handle pretty much as many Cliff Bars as I wanted to put in me. And then when I got to the run, I think I had 1 or 2 Cliff Bars, maybe. So it's 17 in total. I think I had 14 on the bike. Yeah, I think it was every half hour on the bike. And then I probably did 2 or 3 on the run. And then I was doing the gels. And then they give you other stuff too on the run, like chicken broth and warm Coke, or no, flat Coke. And what else did they give you?
I heard about all these things, but
grapes and weird stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was doing.
The grapes sound good, but the flat Coke.
Ugh. Yeah, I did not touch the flat Coke, and I did not touch the Red Bull, and I did not even touch the.
I thought you took a Red Bull.
Well, I took one like
a Red Bull. Actually, sounds pretty interesting.
The last I think I took one like with 2 miles left or something, but like they were offering them as of mile 5 or something, and I was like, should I take this? I probably should or shouldn't, and I didn't.
Early. Seems a bit,
but
early,
I mean,
maybe, but
I don't know. I hadn't done any Red Bull in my training, so I was like, oh, I'm not going to start this now. That's one thing that can derail me. So I didn't. I took one right at the end, but if I were to do it again, I think you could probably start Red Bulling earlier. I could probably start Red Bulling earlier. But
what about the mental? Like when you get to the run, run, like, how was the mental situation at that point?
Well, for me, this is probably not what most people's experience is, but like I was so strong mentally, and I don't know why, but I just knew that I was going to finish. I was so strong mentally. Now, those first 3 miles were really disappointing because I couldn't run. So now I was thinking, 4-hour marathon, 4.5. If it's slow, this will be quick. Get through this thing. And then my first 3 miles were like 15-minute miles each, or I don't know if they weren't fast. So now you're doing the math and you're like, oh my God, this is going to take me like 6.5 hours to do this. And then I was thinking, I'm going to be tight to 17 hours to actually finish if I can't start running. So I was kind of like,
that gives you a bit of motivation to run every once in a while.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, quit.
But you had like ridiculously hard conditions. So
yeah, I did. And I also had for some reason I had so much prep, and I was like, I don't care, whatever's hitting me. Like, I'm not quitting. I don't care. Like, I'm just going to do this. Like there was no stopping me. So I saw Trav too, and that helped me. Right. So he was doing his second loop, and I was still on my first loop, and I saw him, and he kind of gave me a pep talk. He's like, you know what? Just enjoy the day, be out here, enjoy the moment. Like, we're out here. It's a gorgeous day. You're doing one of the awesome, coolest things you'll ever going to do in your life. Just enjoy it. Take in the scenery, talk to people, talk to the volunteers that are handing out the stuff. Make sure to drink a lot. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you want to run with me for a little bit? I was like, yeah, I do. So like we ran together for a bit. And then I did like 200 meters of running. And then he's like, all right, we'll walk for a bit and we'll run. And then I ended up basically finishing the race with him. And it was like, I owe a lot to Trav for, I know I would have done it anyways, but it's like, he got me going, right? A little pep talk, right?
Yeah. I think in that situation, being with someone has got to help. It's got to be helpful. I mean, that's almost no one gets that opportunity, I would imagine.
Yeah, and it was random.
Often. Yeah, because like here's the thing, like for our Ironman, you know how we usually kind of run our races kind of together for the most part, and then at some point one of us just like goes ahead, but usually it's near the end. Like for the Ironman, we won't be able to do that, like because you're going to be way too fast on the swim.
I don't
So
know. I think we're going to be comparable. I think by the time you're done training, we're going to be comparable for the swim.
no, zero.
But I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's like,
but either
9
way,
hours.
like it's too long of a race to do that. Like everyone has to, like if you're a stronger biker, like or whatever, like you can't change your, like makes more sense to kind of like in running, because we're so close, right, in our paces, we had the ability to kind of maybe push ourselves a little bit in the earlier part by going the same pace. And if one of us was a little faster, then they were conserving a little bit. So there was no cost, right? Almost no cost. But with an Ironman, because the pacing it's 3 different sports, that kind of thing that we've done in the past doesn't work as well, but.
Yeah. So I've already kind of, I'm preparing my pre-excuses already for the Ironman. I don't I don't want. Originally, I wanted to beat my time by like 3 hours or whatever, but I'm not going to kill myself on this Ironman because I'm doing Run with Rob like 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. So I'm going to do, I'd like to do something reasonably faster than last time, but I'm not going in there trying to qualify for Boston for sure. I want to kind of enjoy my day and not kill myself. So, that might change things. Like I might be, who knows, I might be way behind you or whatever. Right. I'm at peace with whatever time I end up doing. I want to do it because I enjoy the day and I really want the challenge, but I'm not going to kill myself on this one.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Preparing the excuses.
I just want to finish it. So
preparing the excuses ahead of time. Okay, so we'll have more time to get into the Ironman, I think, as we get closer to the race. But it is pretty exciting to think that we're going to be doing it together. I'm pumped about that. Pumped about our ultras that are coming up. We each got an ultra coming up. Mine is in the heat. Yours is in the freezing cold of Winnipeg. Those are going to be fun. We're going to talk you guys through it on the show. So make sure to subscribe, to like, give us a follow, send us your comments. Don't forget to click the bell to be notified when there's new videos. This is the running journey, and it's our journey of where we came from, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. And hopefully you appreciate and enjoy it. And don't forget to give us your comments. And if you'd like to see us talk about anything in specific, please let us know in the comments. Thanks so much, Charlie. It's great chatting with you. We'll do this again real soon. And guys, we'll see you in the next video.